Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're the show that takes, well, mountains of information and really boils it down to the key insights you can actually use.
Exactly. Actionable insights.
Right. And today, our mission is pretty specific. We want to give you a real shortcut to sounding more authentically American in your everyday chats.
Yeah, we know you want that knowledge fast.
Yeah.
But you also want it to be, thorough.
And that's what we do. We're aiming to unlock those kind of subtle linguistic keys that native speakers just use without thinking.
That's a great way to put it, because this deep dive, it isn't just about memorizing lists of words.
Yeah.
It's really about understanding the nuances, the unspoken rules, the cultural vibe that makes certain phrases sound totally natural, while others, even if they're grammatically okay, just feel a bit off.
Bit stiff, maybe?
Yeah, exactly. Stiff. So we're going to dig into some advanced vocabulary you hear all the time, some crucial phrasal verbs, common idioms, practical expressions, the work.
And we'll focus on how to actually use them correctly, right? The hidden meanings, maybe even some pronunciation stuff.
Absolutely. Correct grammar, the context, those tricky little pronunciation details that honestly make a huge difference in sounding natural.
And the goal here is practicality. We really want you to finish this deep dive feeling genuinely ready, equipped to use these phrases yourself.
To boost your fluency, your confidence.
And maybe even feel a bit more connected to American culture through the language.
Couldn't agree more.
All right, let's get into it then. Let's start unpacking how to master that fundamental communication like a native. Okay, kicking things off, let's talk about those daily essential exchanges. I mean, we all get into spots where we need a hand, right?
Oh, constantly.
And yeah, I need help works, it's clear. But Americans seem to have this whole toolkit of other phrases, different levels of politeness, urgency, whatever.
You really do. And how you ask for help, it says a lot. It's a great place to start.
So what are some of those go-to phrases? What's a common one?
Well, one you'll hear a lot, especially in, say, work or school settings, is, could you walk me through something?
Walk me through. Okay. What does that really mean?
It's more than just help me. It's specifically asking for a detailed step-by-step explanation. Imagine you're new to some software, maybe.
Yeah, okay.
Instead of just help me export this, which can sound a little blunt.
Right. A bit demanding.
Exactly. Asking, could you walk me through how to export this document? It immediately tells the person you want to learn the process, not just have them do it for you.
Ah, okay. So it's asking for instruction, not just the solution itself. That feels different, more collaborative.
Precisely. It shows you're willing to learn. It's a subtle but really important difference in framing the request.
I like that. What about something more casual, like for a quick favor between colleagues or friends?
Okay, for a lighter touch, definitely any chance you know how to do something is super common.
Any chance. Not, is there any chance?
Right. And that's a key thing about natural American speech. The full grammatical version is there any chance? But honestly, in conversation, the is there just gets dropped almost all the time.
Huh?
So just starting with any chance you know how to export this, it signals you're comfortable, you know the patterns, it's informal, conversational.
And maybe implies you're not even sure they can help.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like, hey, maybe you know this, maybe you don't. No big deal if not. It lowers the pressure.
That's really useful. That dropping of words is something you hear all the time. It really makes you sound more integrated.
Definitely.
Now, what about asking politely, but maybe a bit more formally than any chance?
Okay, for that, would you mind gerund? Is a classic.
Yeah.
Very polite.
Ah, the gerund, the king form.
Yep, that's the key. It has to be the gerund. So would you mind showing me how to export this? Or even like we might say on a video, would you mind commenting? Let's go.
Right, not would you mind to show me?
No, never to show. Always the ing. It's a slightly more formal structure than say, can you show me? But it still sounds very natural and polite. It's a great alternative to a direct command.
Got it. Gerund is key for would you mind. Okay, and one more for asking for help, maybe signaling you know they're busy.
Yeah, a really good one for that is, do you have a sec to help me out with this?
A sec. Short for second, obviously.
Right, implying just a tiny bit of time. And to help me out just means to assist. So the whole phrase, do you have a sec to help me out, is super casual, friendly.
And it acknowledges their time.
Exactly. Says, I know you might be busy. I'm not asking for a huge commitment. Perfect for a quick question, a simple task. Like you said, maybe even, do you have a sec to help me out by liking this video?
Uh-huh. Nice plug.
Well, it fits. But seriously, it shows that social awareness, that politeness within an informal frame.
I can totally picture saying that in the hallway at work. Hey, got a sec? Yeah, very natural. Sets a nice tone. Okay, we've got asking for help covered. Now let's flip it. What happens when you're the one who's confused? When you need to say, I don't understand.
Right, because just saying I don't understand over and over can sound a bit basic, maybe, or even a bit confrontational sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. So what are the alternatives? What's the most common, everyday way?
Hands down, the most common, direct, and just concise way is I don't get something.
Get, meaning understand.
Yep, directly. I don't get it. I don't get this concept. I don't get how to export this document. It's simple, super frequent, sounds completely natural.
When would you typically use that one?
Often when you're feeling a bit frustrated, maybe, or just need a really quick clarification, kind of cut straight to the point, no messing around.
Okay. I don't get it. Easy enough.
Oh.
But what if you're in, say, a meeting or talking to your boss? I don't get it. Might sound a little too casual or even blunt.
Good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a more professional setting, or just when you want to be a bit more diplomatic, I'm not entirely clear on something, is a fantastic option.
Not entirely clear.
Exactly. That word entirely is key. It softens the whole thing. It suggests it's not a complete lack of understanding, maybe just some specific points are fuzzy.
Ah, okay. So it's less absolute.
Right. It's more formal, more indirect. I'm not entirely clear on the next steps for this project. It invites explanation without making it sound like you weren't paying attention or you're totally lost.
That's really useful for navigating those tricky work situations. Keeps things polite.
Definitely. Professionalism matters there.
What if it's more than just not being clear? What if you're genuinely trying but still hitting a wall?
Okay, then you might use something like, I'm having trouble gerund with now.
Present continuous. Having trouble.
Right, showing it's an ongoing struggle right now. And you can use it with the end form like, I'm having trouble exporting the document. Or with a noun using with, like I'm having trouble with the document.
And what does that convey?
It clearly signals a current difficulty. And it often makes it easier for others to offer support because you're pinpointing the struggle. It shows you're engaged, but facing an obstacle.
Okay. And is there another way to express that kind of effortful struggle?
Yeah, very similar is I'm struggling infinitive with noun.
Also present continuous, struggling.
Yep. And this one can take the infinitive, I'm struggling to understand this, or a noun with I'm struggling with this new software.
How is struggling different from having trouble? Or is it?
It's pretty similar, but struggling maybe suggests a slightly greater effort or a deeper challenge. Like you're really wrestling with it.
Okay.
It conveys more than just, I don't understand. It suggests you've been trying, putting in effort, but you're still hitting that roadblock. It signals a need for maybe more focused help or a different approach.
So it's not just about what you don't know, but also showing the effort you're putting into trying to know it. That's a great nuance.
Exactly. It adds that layer of context about your process.
All right, next up. Time and deadlines. A huge source of stress for many, right? And a constant topic of conversation, especially at work.
Oh, absolutely. Managing time, hitting deadlines, it's central.
So beyond just saying, I need more time, how do Americans talk about, running out of road?
Well, a very direct, very common way to admit you won't meet a deadline is simply, I'm not going to make the deadline.
Using make there, not achieve or meet.
Right. Make is the natural verb here for deadlines, appointments, things like that. I can't make the meeting. I won't make the deadline. It's straightforward, honest. You hear it all the time in project updates.
Concise, effective. But what if you're not just admitting defeat, but actively trying to, get the deadline moved?
Okay. For postponing, the absolutely essential phrasal verb is push back.
Push back.
Yep. We need to push back the deadline. Means exactly that. Postpone it. And notice, it's proactive language.
Oh.
Well, you're not just stating the problem, I can't make it. You're suggesting the solution. Let's delay it. It's common everywhere. Work, even casual plans. Can we push back dinner by an hour?
Got it. Push back. Definitely a daily essential. What about just describing the state of being late on something?
For that, you'd use the present continuous again. I'm running behind on the project.
Running behind, like in a race?
Kind of, yeah. It means you're currently late, you haven't kept up with the expected pace. I'm running behind on my report. Super common in professional and personal life. Sorry, I'm running behind this morning.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, there's an idiom you mentioned in the outline that really intrigued me. We need to buy some time. You can't literally buy time, so what's going on there?
No, you can't. It's totally idiomatic, and it's a fantastic one to learn because it sounds so naturally American.
So what does buy time mean?
It means to stall, to delay deliberately, to basically create a window of extra time, usually to prepare something, fix a problem, or figure out a strategy.
Ah, so it's not just finding time, it's actively creating it through some maneuver.
Exactly. That's the core idea. You're doing something, maybe asking clarifying questions, providing a partial update, specifically to get more time before the real deadline or presentation hits.
Give me an example.
Sure. Like, the report isn't quite ready. We need to buy some time with the client before the meeting. Maybe ask for clarification on point 3. It implies a tactical pause.
That's fascinating. It's strategic stalling.
Pretty much. It reflects that kind of problem-solving approach. Don't just accept the constraint, figure out how to work around it or manipulate it a bit.
That phrase really does pack a lot of meaning. It's not just being late, it's about strategy.
Very cool. Okay, for managing time crunch, let's pivot to describing being busy. I'm busy is fine, functional.
But a bit boring.
Yeah, kinda. And there are so many more vivid, more culturally specific ways Americans express that feeling of being totally overwhelmed.
There really are. One of the absolute classics, super common and evocative, is I'm swamped.
Swamped, like in a swamp. Exactly. It means you are extremely busy, totally overwhelmed with work, almost like you're submerged or drowning in tasks.
Okay, that paints a picture. How do you use it grammatically?
It always needs the to be verb. I'm swamped. She was swamped last week. You can add specifics like, I'm swamped with emails, or I'm swamped because of this new project.
Any pronunciation tips?
Yeah, the T sound at the end of swamped is usually soft, almost unreleased in natural speech. Not a hard T. Swam.
Got it. Swamped. Definitely paints that underwater feeling. What about if it's your schedule itself that's overloaded?
For a full calendar, a great idiom is, my schedule is jam-packed this week. Or, my calendar is jam-packed.
Jam-packed. Does the jam add much? Could you just say packed?
You can say packed, which means very full. But adding jam really intensifies it. It makes it sound much more natural, more expressive, like things are squeezed in so tightly there's no room left.
Okay, so jam gives it extra punch.
Exactly. It's casual, but super common. You hear it from friends canceling plans, colleagues describing their week, and again, that T impact is usually soft. Jam-pack.
I love how just adding jam makes it sound so much more descriptive.
It's those little intensifiers. Another way to describe a full schedule is to say something specific is using all your time.
Like what?
Like, the project is taking up all my time.
Taking up. What does that phrasal verb mean here?
Take up means to consume, use, or occupy. So if something is taking up all your time, it means that one specific thing is dominating your schedule, leaving little room for anything else. Use the present continuous again.
Okay, this project is taking up all my time. Very clear. Now, is there a word that implies not just busyness, but maybe chaos? A sense of being rushed or disorganized?
Yes, definitely. For a more advanced word that captures that feeling, you can say, things are really hectic right now.
Hectic, Hectic.
Right. Hectic means characterized by intense activity, confusion, or rush. It implies not just being busy, but that the busyness is maybe disordered, stressful, chaotic.
So it's got an emotional layer to it.
Exactly. Saying things are hectic gives a much richer picture than just, I'm busy. It tells someone about the nature of your busyness, the frenzy, the pressure. It sounds more sophisticated, more descriptive.
That really resonates. Hectic perfectly describes some weeks. It's not just busy, it's wild.
Precisely. It captures that feeling well.
Okay, moving away from the daily grind of work and schedules, let's get into nuances of opinion, agreement, doubt. Because conversation isn't just facts, right? It's perspective.
So true. Expressing your viewpoint and understanding others is key.
So instead of just asking the plain, what's your opinion, what are some more natural ways to solicit someone's thoughts?
Well, a really common, casual way is, what's your take on this?
Your take, like your perspective.
Exactly. It invites their personal interpretation, their angle on the issue. Right. It's informal, very effective. And often, if the topic is clear, you can just say, so what's your take? The on this isn't always needed.
Okay, what's your take? Nice and casual. What about something a bit deeper, maybe more formal?
You could use variations like, what's your perspective, or what's your view, or point of view, or viewpoint. These all sound a bit more advanced, maybe more professional or analytical.
Lots of options there. Perspective, view, viewpoint.
Yeah, they're largely interchangeable, just slightly more formal than take. Another good casual one is, how do you see this?
How do you see this, like asking for their mental picture?
Kind of. It prompts them to share how they interpret the situation, almost like asking them to analyze it from their unique position. It feels quite open-ended.
Those are great ways to ask. Now, when you're giving your opinion, you mentioned prepositions are tricky. That in versus from thing.
Absolutely critical. This is a classic spot where non-native speakers can trip up, and it instantly sounds, well, not quite right.
So what's the rule?
You always say, in my opinion, always in. You say, from my perspective, or from my viewpoint, or from my point of view.
Okay. In for opinion, from for perspective, viewpoint. Why the difference? Does from imply something else?
It often subtly suggests a more considered or analytical stance, like you've stepped back, away from the immediate situation, to look at it from a certain angle or position. From my perspective as a manager, implies a specific viewpoint.
Whereas, in my opinion, feels more like a general belief or feeling.
Exactly. And mixing these up, saying, on my opinion or in my perspective, it immediately flags you, even if people understand you. Getting these tiny prepositions right is a huge signal of fluency. Shows real attention to detail.
It really is those little tells, isn't it? That's why just learning vocabulary isn't enough. You need the whole structure.
Precisely. It's the whole package.
Okay, sometimes you don't fully agree or you want to suggest caution, but you want to do it gracefully, right? Not just bluntly say that's wrong or bad idea.
Definitely. Disagreeing politely is a crucial social skill.
So how do you express those reservations gently?
A very common, subtle way is, I'm not sure about that. Or even softer, I'm not too sure about that.
Adding to makes it softer. That's counterintuitive.
It is a bit, isn't it? But yeah, I'm not too sure. Somehow sounds less definite, less challenging than just, I'm not sure. It's a very indirect way to signal doubt or slight disagreement. Perfect for minor hesitations.
Okay, I'm not too sure about that. Good one. What if your concerns are more significant? Like in a business meeting?
Then you'd step up the formality. You'd say something like, I have some concerns about something, or I have some reservations about that, or even I have some doubts about whether this will work.
Concerns, reservations, doubts. More formal, more direct about the hesitation.
Yes, but still framed politely. You're stating your feeling, I have concerns, rather than attacking the idea directly. That idea is bad. This allows for a more constructive discussion. Very useful in professional contexts.
That makes sense. Framing it as your perspective. What if you want to suggest an alternative action? Maybe get them thinking differently.
A great way to do that collaboratively is, have you thought about gerund?
Gerund again?
Yeah. Always with thought about. So, have you thought about canceling the conference? Or have you thought about asking the client first? It frames your disagreement not as criticism, but as a suggestion for consideration, like you're thinking together.
That's a very gentle way to propose an alternative. I like that.
It avoids putting them on the defensive.
And if you need to explicitly pause things, like, hold on, we need to think before we act.
That a really effective phrase is, before we move forward, we need to consider something.
Move forward, meaning proceed or take action.
Exactly. So this phrase clearly signals a need to pause, to deliberate, to ensure you've thought through all the angles before committing. Before we move forward with this plan, we need to consider the budget implications.
So it's about due diligence.
Precisely. It's a strategic delay, ensuring thoughtfulness without sounding overly negative or like you're just trying to stop things. It shows critical thinking.
Very useful for making sure things are done right, not just fast. Strategic, like you said. Okay, let's flip from doubt to enthusiasm. When you hear a great idea, how do you really affirm it, show strong support, go beyond just, I agree?
Right. Showing genuine enthusiasm is important.
Yeah.
A very natural, active way to do this is, I can get behind that idea.
Get behind it, like physically stand behind it.
Haha, not literally.
Yeah.
To get behind something means you fully support it, you endorse it, you're ready to back it up, maybe even put your energy into making it happen.
Ah, so it's active support, much stronger than just, yeah, sounds good.
Much stronger. It conveys real commitment and enthusiasm. You're not just passively agreeing, you're ready to join the effort.
I like that. It feels very involved. What if someone has an idea that feels genuinely insightful or innovative, like they've really hit on something important?
Then you can say, you're really onto something.
Onto something.
Yeah. This is a huge compliment. It means you think their idea is very promising, that they're moving in the right direction, maybe towards a breakthrough or a really significant insight.
So it's more than just agreement, it's validation of potential.
Exactly. It's powerful validation. It acknowledges the value and potential of their thought process. Great for encouraging creative thinking or problem solving.
Yeah.
Makes people feel heard and valued.
That's a fantastic phrase. You're really onto something. And for just quick, punchy agreement like, yes, exactly correct.
For that, you'll hear, that's spot on.
Spot on?
Means perfectly accurate, completely correct. His analysis was spot on. It's concise, impactful, a great way to express full agreement quickly.
Spot on. I like it. And the really, really common one, the percentage.
Ah, yes. 100%. You hear this constantly.
How do native speakers usually say it? Is it always clear 100%?
Rarely that formal. Usually it's more like 100%, often quite quick and unstressed. And sometimes they even drop the percent.
Just 100%.
Yeah, like, should we get pizza? 100%. It means absolutely yes. I completely agree. That's totally right. It's informal, but super common and very strong.
You definitely hear that all over American media, reality TV, everywhere. Now I know why. It's just quick, strong agreement.
Exactly. Maximum agreement, minimum syllables. Very American efficiency.
Okay, let's move into navigating the social world itself, the art of interaction. Starting with apologies. Everyone messes up. How do we say sorry with a bit more finesse than just sorry?
Right. Sorry works, but context matters. A super common, casual one is, sorry about that.
Just sorry about that. Do you need the I'm?
Often dropped in casual speech. Sorry about that. And if you mention what you did wrong using a verb, it almost always takes the gerund, the ing form.
Gerunds again. They're everywhere.
They really are. So, sorry about spilling coffee, not spill coffee, or sorry about being late.
Okay, sorry about that. Often with a gerund. Got it. What about for really minor things, like bumping into someone lately?
For tiny mistakes, especially with friends or peers, you'll often hear, my bad.
My bad. Very informal.
Super informal, quick, acknowledges you made a small error, like, oops, my bad, didn't see you there. It signals you take responsibility for a little slip-up. Not for serious mistakes, though.
Right. Context is key. Wouldn't say my bad if you crashed their car.
Definitely not. You'd need a much bigger apology then. Maybe something like, I didn't mean to verb.
Ah, focusing on intention.
Exactly. I didn't mean to break it. I didn't mean to offend you. It clarifies that the action was accidental, not malicious. Useful when the outcome was bad, but your intent wasn't.
That's helpful for misunderstandings. What about those little noises people make when they make a tiny mistake, like dropping something?
Oh yeah, like whoops or oops.
Are those actual words?
Kind of interjections, really.
Sure.
Sounds made for minor accidental spills, fumbles, small errors, often followed by a quick, sorry, whoops, sorry about that.
Okay. And what if you've done something genuinely wrong and you want to show you'll fix it or compensate?
Then the phrase you need is, I'll make it up to you.
Make it up to you. What does that imply?
It's a promise. It means you will rectify the mistake, compensate for the inconvenience, do something positive to balance out the negative thing you did.
So it's a proactive apology.
Exactly. It offers a solution or promise of amends. Sorry, I missed your party. I'll make it up to you. Let me take you out for lunch. It really helps rebuild trust because you're committing to putting things right.
That feels much more substantial than just sorry. Shows real commitment. All right. From apologies to appreciation, expressing gratitude. Beyond thank you, which is great, what are some other common ways Americans show thanks? From casual to more profound.
Well, a nice casual one is thanks a bunch.
Like a bunch of flowers.
Maybe. It's just a friendly, slightly more enthusiastic way of saying thanks a lot. Very common, very warm.
Okay, thanks a bunch. What about implying thanks without actually saying the word thank you?
Then you'd use I really appreciate it.
I really appreciate it. So that counts as a thank you.
Absolutely. It conveys gratitude very clearly and sincerely. Works in almost any situation, formal or informal. Thanks for your help. No problem. I really appreciate it. It adds that layer of acknowledging their effort or kindness.
That's a good versatile one. What about something really complimentary? Like they went way above and beyond.
Okay, my personal favorite for this, and it always lands well, is you're the best.
Simple but effective.
Very. It's highly complimentary, personal. Shows real admiration and gratitude. Use it for friends, family, even a helpful barista. Oh my gosh, you found my lost wallet. You're the best.
I like that one. And for something maybe a bit more energetic.
Then you've got you rock.
You rock. Like rock and roll.
Yeah, that's the vibe. It's informal, super enthusiastic, means you are great, you're amazing. That was awesome of you.
How do you use it grammatically?
Crucially, it's just you rock. Not "you are rock." That's a common mistake. Just the verb rock. "Thanks for covering my shift." No problem. You rock.
Yeah.
Conveys real admiration and appreciation with energy.
Okay, you rock. Got it. Don't add R. And if you feel like you just can't express enough gratitude.
Then you say, "I can't thank you enough."
I can't thank you enough. That sounds very strong.
It is. It's used when someone has done something incredibly helpful or significant for you, and simple thanks just doesn't feel adequate. It expresses deep, profound gratitude.
Wow, lots of great options for showing appreciation. Okay, let's switch gears to reacting to news and surprises. Life throws curveballs, good and bad. How do Americans express that shock or disbelief?
Well, the absolute workhorses here are you serious?
Yeah.
Seriously? Or just, really?
Those seem pretty straightforward.
They are, but incredibly versatile. The key is your intonation. You can use them for amazing news. "You got the job. Are you serious?" Or terrible news. "He crashed the car." Seriously. The rising pitch makes it a question expressing disbelief or needing confirmation.
Right, the tone carries the emotion. What about something even stronger, like pure incredulity?
Then you'd probably go with "no way."
No way. Does that need a certain delivery?
Oh, yeah. It requires enthusiasm, maybe wide eyes. It expresses strong surprise, shock, disbelief. "You won the lottery. No way." It has to sound like you genuinely can't believe it.
Okay, no way, with feeling. Got it. Any other ways to say, "I can't believe it"?
Sure. "That's unbelievable." Works perfectly as a direct alternative. Again, tone matters.
And maybe something a bit more dramatic.
Haha. For drama, you could use "You've got to be kidding me."
That sounds pretty intense.
It is. It expresses strong shock, disbelief, maybe even a hint of frustration or annoyance, depending on the context and tone. "They canceled the flight. You've got to be kidding me."
Okay, that one packs a punch. And what if something just genuinely takes you by surprise, catches you completely off guard?
A great phrase for that is, "Wow, I didn't see that coming."
Didn't see that coming. Pretty literal.
Yeah, it means you absolutely were not expecting it. It works for good surprises. "You got promoted. Wow, I didn't see that coming. Congrats." Or bad ones. "They fired him. Wow, I didn't see that coming."
Can you combine these?
Totally. "No way. Seriously, I did not see that coming." It emphasizes the complete unexpectedness of the event.
That really captures that feeling of being blindsided, good or bad. All right, time to be proactive and make some social plans. We need to break the ice beyond just want to meet. Achal, what are some natural, common American ways to suggest getting together?
Well, a super common, very casual invitation is, "Do you want to hang out this weekend?"
Hang out. What does that specifically mean?
It's fundamental American slang for just spending time together socially, informally.
Yeah.
No specific agenda, just relaxing, chatting, enjoying each other's company. "Let's just hang out at my place." Very low pressure.
Okay, hang out for casual time. What if you want to suggest meeting as a group?
Then you'd use "get together."
Yeah.
"Let's get together this weekend." It implies a group gathering, maybe for a meal, drinks, or just socializing. "We should get the whole team together for drinks."
Hang out for pairs or small groups, get together often for larger groups.
Generally, yeah, though there's overlap. "Get together" can be just two people too, but it often implies a slightly more planned meeting than just hanging out.
Okay. What about suggesting a specific quick activity like coffee?
Then you probably use grab. Like, "How about we grab coffee after work?"
Using grab for getting food or drink?
Extremely common. Grab lunch, grab a bite, grab a beer. It's informal, implies quickness and convenience. It reflects how a lot of casual American socializing happens, quick meetups over food or drink.
Yeah, grab feels very efficient. I use it all the time now. And if you haven't seen someone in ages and want to reconnect,
Then the phrase is, "We need to catch up."
catch up, like catching up in a race.
Similar idea. It means spending time sharing news, finding out what's been happening in each other's lives since you last spoke properly. It implies a need to bridge that time gap. It's been too long. We really need to catch up soon.
Essential for maintaining friendships when life gets busy.
Absolutely. It signals that desire to reconnect.
Okay, from making plans to asking for help more directly. We touched on this earlier, but let's focus on asking someone to physically help you with a task.
Right, like needing help carrying something or with a chore.
Exactly. What are the go-to phrases?
A very common and polite way is, "Could you give me a hand with this?" Or, "Can you lend me a hand?"
Give a hand, lend a hand. Both mean help.
Yep, exactly. It's a direct request for assistance. And remember the grammar, use "with" plus a noun or a gerund.
Gerund alert again.
Always. "Could you give me a hand with dinner?" Or, "Can you lend me a hand with carrying these boxes?"
And could is a bit more polite than can.
Generally, yes. Could softens the request slightly, makes it sound a touch more formal or deferential, but both are very common.
Okay, given to hand with. What about asking for a favor, maybe something a bit more involved? We mentioned would you mind?
Yes, would you mind, gerund, is excellent for polite favor requests, like would you mind driving me to the airport? Remember that linging?
Got it. Is there a way to frame it specifically as a favor?
Sure. You can use the collocation, do someone a favor.
Yeah.
So you could ask, would you mind doing me a favor? And then if they agree, you state the favor.
Ah, okay, so you asked about the favor first, then specify.
Often, yeah.
Yeah.
Gives them a chance to mentally prepare or decline gracefully if they can't.
Yeah.
Or you can combine them. Would you mind doing me a favor and driving me to the airport?
That feels very polite, acknowledging it's an imposition.
Exactly. And sometimes if the need feels more significant or urgent, you might say something more direct, like, I could really use your help.
That sounds a bit more serious.
It can, yeah. It often implies the situation is a bit more challenging or you're feeling a bit overwhelmed and genuinely need assistance. I'm trying to move this couch. I could really use your help.
Okay, good to have options depending on the situation's gravity. Now, let's flip it again. Offering support and help. Being there for others. How do we go beyond a simple need help?
Right. Offering support effectively is key in relationships. A simple, direct, and very useful offer is let me know if you need a hand or let me know if you need any help.
Puts the ball in their court.
Exactly. It's open-ended, non-intrusive. They can take you up on it if and when they're ready.
What about a more proactive offer?
You could say, I'd be happy to help, or I'd be happy to lend you a hand.
I'd meaning I would.
Yep. I would be happy to. Sounds very willing and positive.
Nice. Any other open-ended offers?
Sure. If you need anything, just ask. Very common, very reassuring, or even more personally, I'm here if you need anything, or simply, I'm here if you need me.
Those sound really warm and supportive, like you're genuinely available.
They are. They convey presence and availability without being specific, which can be very comforting, especially if someone is going through a tough time.
Okay. Now, what's the ultimate expression of support? The strongest one.
For unwavering loyalty and support, the phrase is, don't worry, I've got your back.
I've got your back. What does that really signify?
It means, I'm here to support you, defend you, help you no matter what. It implies deep loyalty, solidarity, protection. Like you'll step in if things get tough.
Wow, that's powerful.
It really is. You hear between close friends, family, teammates. Don't worry about the presentation. I've got your back if you freeze up. It builds incredible trust and strengthens bonds. It's a serious commitment.
I've got your back. That feels like a cornerstone of American friendship or teamwork. Really good one to know. Okay, time to wrap up interactions. Literally, saying goodbye. Bye is fine, but what are some other natural ways Americans end a conversation or interaction?
So many options.
Oh.
A really versatile, warm one is take care, or combine it. Bye, take care.
Simple, friendly, works anytime.
Pretty much any casual or semi-formal situation. It conveys a nice sentiment of wishing someone well.
What about mentioning the next time you'll see them?
Then you use see you, followed by when or where. See you later, see you soon, see you tomorrow, see you at the movies. You can even combine them. Okay, see you later, take care.
Makes sense. Now that phrase, have a good one, you hear it all the time, especially from people in service jobs. What's the one?
The one is just a super generic placeholder. It means day or afternoon or evening or night or even rest of your shift.
So it works anytime, anywhere.
Exactly. That's why it's so popular. You don't have to think about what time it is. It's casual, friendly, efficient. A cashier might say it dozens of times a day. Thanks. Have a good one.
It is uniquely American, isn't it? So efficient.
Totally. Similar to see you is talk to you. Talk to you soon, talk to you later, talk to you tomorrow. Use more when the interaction was primarily talking, like on the phone, but often use interchangeably with see ya.
Okay. And what about when someone is leaving in a car or traveling?
Safety wishes. If they're specifically driving away, you'd say drive safe.
Only if driving.
Yep. For any other kind of travel, flying, train, bus, even driving, the more general and very common phrase is safe travels.
Safe travels. That's broader.
Much broader. It works for any journey, shows you're thinking about their situation and wishing them well on their trip. Demonstrates that contextual awareness.
Nice. Drive safe for drivers, safe travels for everyone else going somewhere. Good distinction. All right, let's imagine we're out and about, maybe exploring a new place, and we're lost. Or just need directions. How do Americans handle asking for directions or figuring out where they are?
Well, first, there's often that moment of realization and maybe disagreement. You might hear, why don't we just ask someone where it is?
Yes. I feel like I've heard or said that in frustration many times, often directed at a partner who refuses to ask.
Exactly. It's that relatable moment. Stop guessing. Let's get help. It's a pragmatic suggestion to solve the immediate problem of being lost.
Definitely relatable. What about figuring out if you can walk somewhere?
Then you ask, is the place walking distance from here?
Walking distance, meaning close enough to walk easily.
Yep. It's a key practical question for planning, especially in cities. Helps you decide if you need a cab, bus, or can just hoof it.
Very useful. And if it's not walking distance, how might you suggest transport?
You'd use a modal of suggestion like should or could. We should take an Uber, or maybe we could take the subway. Uses the base verb after the modal. Offers a practical solution.
Okay. And just figuring out your current location.
Simple question. What street are we on? Crucial preposition there is on. You are on a street.
Got it. On the street. And the moment you finally admit defeat.
The classic simple admission, I think we're lost.
The structure is to be lost.
Yep. We are lost. I am lost. It's a common, concise way to state the predicament. Signals it's time to reassess, pull out the map, or,
Ask someone where it is.
Exactly. Full circle.
It's good to know there's a simple phrase for that universal feeling of being utterly lost. Okay, let's shift into specific everyday scenarios, applying some of these phrases and adding new ones. Starting with shopping and customer service essential interactions.
Definitely. Everyone shops.
So how do you politely ask for a price?
Simple and polite. Excuse me, how much is this? The, excuse me, gets their attention first.
Good tip. What about asking for different sizes or colors?
Key preposition here is in. Do you have this in medium? Do you have this in yellow? Always in for size or color availability.
In medium, in yellow, got it. And asking where to try clothes on?
Where can I try this on? Straightforward, ask for the location of the changing room or fitting room.
What about sales? How do you check if an item is part of a promotion?
Crucial question for bargain hunters. Is this included in the sale? Or is this item on sale?
Okay. And finally, if you're being environmentally conscious or just don't want more plastic?
A simple, polite phrase, I don't need a bag, or no bag needed, thanks. Useful if you brought your own reusable one.
Simple, practical phrases for navigating the shops. Good stuff. Now let's head to the cafe. A daily ritual for so many Americans. What are some common exchanges there?
Okay, basic logistics first. What time do you close today? Good to know. Also saving paper. I don't need a receipt. Very common.
What about the modern necessity? Wi-Fi.
Right. You could ask, what's the Wi-Fi password? Or even more commonly, just what's the Wi-Fi? It's assumed you're asking for the password.
Efficient. And finding power for devices.
Is there somewhere I can plug in my laptop? Or plug in my phone? The phrasal verb plug in means to connect to an outlet, a power source.
Okay. And the slightly awkward but necessary bathroom check.
Yeah. If something's missing, like toilet paper, you'd say, sorry, but there's no toilet paper in the restroom.
Is this sorry an apology here?
Not really. It's more like a polite attention getter, softening the delivery of the information, like, excuse me, but a classic example of sorry not meaning I apologize.
Interesting nuance. Now, ordering coffee itself.
The standard way is I'll get your order. Much more natural than I want. So I'll get a small cappuccino.
Okay. Customizations.
You can use make. Can you make it extra hot, or can you make that decaf? And the imperative hold for things you don't want.
Like hold the pickles on a burger.
Exactly. Hold the whipping cream, hold the onions. Means don't include it. Very efficient.
What about asking about options, like muffins?
What kind of muffins are these? Simple question to ask about flavors or varieties.
Great practical cafe talk. That hold the is so useful. We talked earlier about making plans. Let's quickly recap those key phrases for initiating contact.
Sure. For availability. Are you free tonight this weekend? For casual time? Do you want to hang out this weekend? For group plans, let's get together this weekend. For quick meetups, how about we grab coffee after work? And for reconnecting, we need to catch up.
Perfect recap. Now, what's another really common way to ask someone about their weekend plans?
Definitely. What are you up to this weekend?
Up to, meaning doing.
Exactly. But here's the crucial nuance. Up to is almost exclusively used in the question.
So how do you answer that question? You don't say, I'm up to relaxing.
No, exactly. That sounds unnatural. You just reply using the present continuous or going to future. Like, oh, I'm just relaxing at home, or I'm going hiking, or not much. What about you?
That's a really important distinction. Using up to in the question, but not in the answer.
It's one of those small things that immediately marks you as fluent if you get it right. Shows you've internalized the pattern, not just the words. Essential for casual rapport.
Absolutely. That's a perfect example of a subtle linguistic point. Okay, next scenario. The salon or barbershop. Getting a haircut. How do people talk about this?
Well, if someone calls while you're there, you might say, sorry, I can't talk now, I'm just getting a haircut. Present continuous for the ongoing action.
Makes sense. What if you're a regular customer and want the same thing as always?
You can just say, just the usual. This works for haircuts, coffee orders, anything where you have a regular preference. It signals you're in known quantity.
Efficient. What if you want something simple, not a drastic change?
You could say, nothing fancy, just a trim. Nothing fancy means nothing elaborate or new. And a trim is just a small cut to neaten the hair, maintain the style.
Okay, what about specific requests, like dealing with damaged hair?
You might ask, can you just clean up the split ends? Split ends are the dry, damaged ends of hair. And clean up here means to tidy, fix, or remove them, usually by trimming.
Clean up meaning trim or fix. Good to know. And asking for a particular style element.
Like layers. You'd ask, can you add some layers? Layers are a common hair cutting technique where hair is cut at different lengths to add texture or volume.
Very practical salon vocabulary. Moving on to healthcare and managing appointments. Things like doctor's visits.
Right, important stuff. Sometimes you need care without an appointment. You'd ask, do you accept walk-ins?
Walk-ins meaning people without appointments.
Exactly. Applies to clinics, salons, sometimes restaurants. Means you can just show up.
What if you have an appointment but need to change it?
You'd say, I need to reschedule my appointment. The prefix re means again, so reschedule means schedule again at a different time or date.
Okay. And if you need an appointment urgently?
Are there any appointments available today? Or not available this week? Direct question about current availability.
What about getting test results?
You'd ask, when will my results be in? Be in here means be available or ready.
Be in. Okay. And updating your personal information.
I need to update my address on file. On file means in their official records, and update means to provide the most recent information.
All very necessary phrases for managing healthcare logistics. Now let's talk chores and errands, the endless cycle of daily tasks.
The fun stuff.
Haha, indeed. How do you say you've run out of something essential like milk?
Use the phrase to be out of. So we're out of help, or I'm out of coffee. Means you have none left.
Out of. Got it. Asking for help with a chore like dinner. We covered give a hand, right?
Yep. Can you give me a hand with dinner? Perfect.
What about collecting kids from school or activities?
The phrasal verb is pick up. Are you picking the kids up today? Or I need to pick up the dry cleaning? Means to collect someone or something.
Okay, pick up. What about making a quick visit somewhere while you're already out?
You stop by. Like, can we stop by the bank on the way home? Means to make a brief visit.
Stop by. Nice. And taking the car for service?
I'm taking the car into the garage tomorrow. Into the garage is the common way to say for repairs or maintenance checkups.
Good practical phrases for the daily to-do list. Let's touch on common parenting phrases. Navigating family life and school schedules often has its own vocabulary.
It really does. Lots of specific events and logistics.
Like reminding someone about a school meeting.
You might say, remember that parent-teacher night is on Thursday. Parent-teacher night or conference is a standard meeting type.
What about kids' social plans?
You talk about a play date. Leo has a play date at Sarah's tonight. A play date is an arranged time for kids to play. And using the possessives like at Sarah's usually implies at Sarah's house.
Ah, the implied house. Good tip. Forgetting details about schedules.
Happens all the time. What time is soccer practice again? Adding again implies you've asked or been told before, but forgotten. Very natural.
Haha, yes, this again of forgetfulness. Checking homework.
Did you check Maya's homework? Check here means to review or verify it's done. Maybe check for correctness.
And enrolling kids in activities.
The phrasal verb is sign up. You can sign yourself up or sign someone else up. I sign Noah up for piano lessons. Means to register or enroll them.
Very useful phrases for managing the busy world of parenting. Okay, last scenario section. Addressing household problems. Because things break, leak, and generally go wrong.
Oh, don't they just? Essential vocabulary for homeowners and renters alike.
So if the dishwasher is misbehaving with water.
You'd say the dishwasher is leaking. Present continuous leaking means water is escaping where it shouldn't. Direct and clear.
What about a power outage?
The power went out. Simple past. The power went out for over an hour last night. means the electricity stopped.
Okay, and when you use up all of something consumable, like printer ink, we mentioned run out of.
Exactly, past tense. My printer ran out of ink. Means it's completely used up, empty. Works for milk, sugar, patience.
Versatile. And when an appliance is just working badly, unreliably, we mentioned acting up.
Yep. The oven is acting up again. Present continuous acting up means it's malfunctioning, behaving erratically. Very common for machines, appliances, even minor health issues like my back is acting up.
Acting up. That's a great one. And when something is beyond repair?
Then you need to replace it. We need to replace the washer and dryer. Means to get new ones to take the place of the old ones.
These are all super practical for dealing with those common home frustrations. Definitely good ones to have in your toolkit.
Wow, okay, that was a really comprehensive deep dive. We've covered, what, over 50 key phrases and expressions? Maybe more.
At least. Across a whole range of daily situations, asking for help, expressing confusion, managing time, opinions, apologies, thanks, plans.
Shopping, cafes, household problems, the list goes on. The goal was really to boost your confidence, help you sound more natural, more fluent.
And hopefully you now have a much stronger feel for not just the words, but the phrasal verbs, the idioms, the whole cultural context that makes American English tick day to day.
But just hearing them once isn't enough. Absolutely not. Confidence comes from practice, from review. We really hope you'll try, actively integrating these into your own conversations.
Even if it feels a bit awkward at first.
Especially if it feels awkward at first. That's how you learn. Push through that initial discomfort. The more you use them, the more natural they'll feel. And really listen to how native speakers use them around you. Notice the intonation, the rhythm. That's where the deeper learning happens.
Totally agree. Think of this as more than just language. It's a way into understanding the communication style, maybe even the culture itself.
It really is.
So, to leave you with something to chew on, here's a final thought. How might consciously choosing these more American expressions actually do more than just improve your communication? Could it subtly shift how you perceive and interact with American culture itself?
Yeah, that's a great question. Consider how these small linguistic adjustments saying, I'm swamped, instead of just I'm busy or I've got your back, instead of just all help, might open doors, new connections maybe, professionally, personally. By building that stronger rapport, that deeper understanding.
It's about more than just words, right? It's about connection.
Absolutely. It's bridging gaps, understanding nuances, and ultimately connecting more effectively. So the real question is, what's one phrase from today that you're going to try out? Okay, let's unpack this. Have you ever felt like you know English, like you've done the work, studied the grammar, memorized lists of words, but then when you actually try to speak naturally, something still feels bit off.
Yeah.
Like you're just missing that final piece, that aha moment that really connects you with native speakers.
Absolutely. And what's really fascinating here, and what we're going to dive into today, is that sounding natural isn't just about knowing dictionary definitions. It's much deeper than that.
Right.
It's about understanding the subtle dance of nuance. You know, the cultural weight, the feeling behind the phrases people use every single day without even thinking about it. And that brings up a big question, really. How do we get past just knowing a phrase to like truly feeling it, owning it, using it confidently so it sounds like you?
Exactly. And that's our mission for you today, to bridge that exact gap. We've got this incredible resource to guide us. It's a really comprehensive guide. Over 130 advanced English phrases, idioms, even some really current slang. It's all broken down by level, from the elementary stuff right up to master level fluency.
It's a fantastic resource.
Our goal for you listening right now is to give you a kind of shortcut to get you well informed fast about these tricky bits of natural English. We'll cover surprising facts, maybe some unexpected cultural insights, and definitely practical ways you can start using these phrases confidently.
So you can really express yourself, sound natural, feel good about it.
Precisely. Okay, so we're going to start our deep dive with some phrases that maybe on the surface seem pretty basic. Elementary, even. You might even be thinking, oh yeah, I know that one. But as we'll see, even these foundational bits have layers. Hidden meanings, feelings, specific ways they're used that maybe your textbook didn't quite cover.
Right. And getting these nuances down from the start is so important for that natural flow. Think of them like the basic bricks for building your language house.
Good analogy.
They look simple, right? But it's how you place them, the context that's the mortar that makes the whole thing feel solid, feel intuitive, feel, native. It's not just the what, it's the how and the why.
Makes perfect sense. So let's kick off with one we've definitely all used or heard. We've all been there. That moment you absolutely meant to do something and poof, gone.
Oh, totally. It slipped my mind.
Ugh.
It's such a useful little phrase, isn't it? It's a wonderfully polite way to say you forgot something unintentionally.
Unintentionally, that's key.
Exactly. It's an apology, yes, but it kind of softens the blow. It implies it was a genuine accident, like the thought literally just slipped away. Maybe you were busy, distracted.
Right, like water through your fingers.
Precisely. It carries that subtle hint of regret, maybe being a bit overwhelmed, which sounds much better than just a blunt, I forgot.
Yeah, I forgot. Can sound a bit harsh sometimes.
It can. So you'd use this if, say, you promised to call a friend last night, got totally swamped with something else, and it just vanished from your head. You'd say, oh, I meant to call, but it completely slipped my mind. It signals genuine oversight.
Okay, got it. So it's really about that accidental forgetting. Good. Next one. To make a difference. Seems straightforward, causing change. But the source highlights a really important nuance here.
It does, and this is subtle but really critical for sounding natural, especially, I think, in American English. While to make a difference does mean to cause change, it almost always carries this strong positive feeling.
Ah, positive. Okay.
Yeah, a positive change, a beneficial impact, usually intentional too. You wouldn't really say like the hurricane made a difference to the coastline if you meant destruction. You'd use damaged or something.
Right, that would sound odd.
Very odd. Instead, it's about positive contribution. Think about environmental campaigns. Recycling really makes a difference, or charity appeals. Your donation will make a huge difference to families in need.
So it's motivating almost.
Exactly. It's empowering. It focuses on the positive outcome, the why behind the action. It suggests that even small actions can have a meaningful, beneficial effect.
I like that. It adds that layer of hope or optimism. Okay, how about to connect with someone? Definitely not talking about physical connection here, are we?
Haha, no, definitely not literal.
Ah,
This phrase is all about relationships, about interaction. To connect with someone means talking to them, yes. But more than that, it means getting along well, forming a real bond, maybe even a friendship.
building rapport.
Yeah, it's very close to that. Think about a really great teacher. They don't just lecture at you, right? They find ways to connect with their students. They learn their interests, maybe what's going on in their lives. It makes the whole experience better.
Makes learning easier, probably.
For sure. And what's interesting is you can use it negatively, too. Like, I tried talking to him, but I just don't connect with him.
Meaning no spark, no common ground.
Exactly. Lack of shared interest. Maybe the conversation just doesn't flow. There's no real bond forming. So it's about establishing that genuine understanding or noting its absence.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, for anyone who's ever split the bill or helped out with a group task, to chip in probably rings a bell. But it's given flexibility.
It does. To chip in means to contribute something. And you're right. Most often people think of money. Like, everyone in the office is chipping in $5 for a birthday gift for the boss.
Classic office scenario.
Totally. It makes a collective effort easy. But crucially, you can also chip in with effort or work. If you're having a big dinner party and things are getting chaotic in the kitchen, you might yell out, hey, can someone chip in with washing these dishes?
Asking for help, basically.
Yeah, asking for a contribution of effort. It's informal. Everyone understands it. It's about sharing the load, whether it's cost or work. The source actually mentioned this is super common in conversation, but maybe not taught formally, so it's a good one to know.
Definitely practical. Okay, from contributing, let's talk about delaying or stopping progress. To stall.
Ah, stall. This one has two main flavors. First, you can stall on purpose. You're trying to delay something like, can you stall the professor for a minute? My presentation isn't loading. You're buying time.
Trying to create a delay.
Exactly. Or sometimes it implies someone is wasting time purposefully, like, stop stalling and just tell me what happened.
Okay, and the other meaning?
The other meaning is totally different. It's when a car engine suddenly stops working unexpectedly. You're driving along, and then sputter, sputter, silence. Oh no, my car just stalled in the middle of the intersection.
Ah, right. Mechanical failure.
Yeah.
Very different.
Very different, yeah. Context tells you which one it is.
Got it. How about to keep something short? Sounds like being considerate.
It is. It's about brevity, about not taking up too much of someone's time. You might say it before giving a presentation. Okay, everyone, I'm going to keep this short, but I have some important updates.
Shows respect for their time.
Exactly. Or if you're telling a story and realize you're rambling, you might say, okay, to keep it short. It's useful in meetings, presentations, or just when you need to deliver key info quickly and efficiently.
Good one for work emails too, probably. Keeping this short. Okay, visiting someone unexpectedly, to pop in on someone.
Yeah, pop in. This implies a visit that's usually informal, often unexpected, and probably not for a super long time.
Like a surprise visit?
Kind of, yeah. It often suggests it wasn't planned weeks in advance, like, I was in the neighborhood, so I thought I'd just pop in and say hi. Or maybe my parents just popped in on me this afternoon. I wasn't expecting them at all. It has that casual, spontaneous feel.
Okay, nice and formal.
Yeah.
Lastly, for this section, back to negativity. To hinder something. Sounds serious.
It definitely carries a negative weight. To hinder means to slow something down, make it more difficult, or sometimes even ruin it or make it impossible. It's always about creating obstacles or impeding progress.
So like external factors.
Often, yeah. Bad weather hindering your travel plans. Or maybe budget cuts hindering a research project. It could also be a person, though. Like if someone's lack of cooperation is hindering the team's success, it's always about making things harder.
Okay, here's where things get, I think, really interesting. We're moving up now, looking at phrases that add more depth, more sophistication to your English. These let you express more complex thoughts, feelings, nuances, really tap into that native-like flair.
Exactly. This next group of phrases, they start to peel back more of those cultural layers in the language. They're often less about a direct literal meaning and more about understanding implied ideas, subtle judgments, or even societal views. Getting these right is a big step up in fluency.
Right. Let's start with a word that seems simple, but has tricky connotations. Exotic.
Ah, yes, exotic. Fundamentally, it means unusual, unfamiliar, maybe from a faraway place. Simple enough, right?
Seems so.
But the nuance is absolutely critical. While it means foreign, just slapping the label exotic onto people or entire cultures simply because they aren't, say, American or European can come across as rude.
How so?
Well, it can feel like you're reducing them to just being other, maybe even fetishizing their difference. It can sound a bit objectifying. However, it's perfectly fine, even positive, when you're talking about things like food, plants, music, experiences that are genuinely new and different to your experience.
Okay, so context is everything.
Totally. Saying, wow, this Thai fruit is so exotic and delicious is fine. It's appreciating something new. But describing a person as exotic just based on their appearance, that's where you need to be really careful. It's about appreciating novelty versus potentially stereotyping people.
That's a really important distinction. Okay, shifting gears to a phrase that touches on personal value and status. Beneath you. This sounds potentially loaded.
It can be. This phrase taps right into ideas about societal value, dignity, what work is considered important. When you say something is beneath you, you're implying it's not worthy of your time, skills, or status. You feel you're too good for it.
Like a task is too menial.
Exactly. Maybe a highly qualified engineer feels that making coffee for the team is beneath them. It suggests a sense of superiority, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But here's the interesting twist. It's often used in the negative as a statement of humility. Someone might say, look, I'll do whatever needs doing. No work is beneath me.
Showing respect for all kinds of work.
Precisely. It signals a rejection of that hierarchy, a willingness to roll up your sleeves. So this phrase really makes you think about how we value different jobs and people's contributions. It's quite provocative.
Fascinating how it works both ways. Okay, from perceived unworthiness to total commitment. All in.
Yeah, all in. This one's about full commitment, total dedication. When you say, I'm all in, you're signaling strong belief, enthusiastic support, often in a group context.
Like for a team project.
Perfect example. A new, risky plan is suggested, and you say, okay, I'm all in, let's do it. It's not just agreement, it's like, I'm fully invested, ready to give it my all-time energy, whatever it takes. It's very positive, very decisive.
A strong endorsement. Now, about building relationships, especially maybe in professional settings, to build rapport. It seems essential.
Oh, absolutely essential. To build rapport means establishing that foundation of trust, understanding, and just a comfortable connection with someone. You need it with coworkers, clients, neighbors, pretty much everyone.
How do people usually do it?
Well, good salespeople are masters at this, right? They chat about the weather, ask about your weekend, find some common ground before they pitch anything. They're building that connection first.
Makes sense.
But the source material makes a really sharp point here. It can sometimes feel, well, a bit slimy.
Slimy.
If it feels like someone, maybe that salesperson, is only building rapport as a trick, purely to manipulate you into buying something, not because they genuinely care. It highlights that critical difference between authentic connection and just superficial interaction for personal gain. Genuine versus calculated.
That's a really useful distinction to keep in mind. Okay, last one for this section. When something is creating a huge buzz, everyone's talking about it, it's the talk of the town.
Yeah, the talk of the town. This means something or someone is super popular, widely discussed, the hot topic within a specific community.
Does it have to be a literal town?
Not at all. That's the interesting part. It could be your office, your school, your book club, any group where something becomes the main subject of conversation. Maybe a new restaurant opens up and everyone's raving about it. That new place is the talk of the town. Or if there's some juicy gossip at work. Haha, yeah, that could also make someone the talk of the town, though maybe not in a good way. It just captures that feeling of widespread local chatter and excitement, or maybe notoriety. All right, now we're getting into the really dynamic stuff. The living, breathing edge of the language, slang, modern idioms, phrases where meanings are shifting right now. Understanding these gives you a real window into current culture and how people, especially maybe younger people, are communicating informally.
Yeah, this is the fun stuff. It shows how language is constantly changing. Let's start with something delightfully dramatic you hear online a lot. I'm unwell.
Oh, this one is gold. And crucial point. You never use I'm unwell when you're actually physically sick.
Right, you'd say I'm sick or not feeling well.
Exactly. I'm unwell is pure performance. It's humorous, over the top, maybe a bit self-deprecating. It's how you express being completely shocked, ridiculously excited, or just utterly confused by something that hit you with strong emotion.
Like seeing something amazing or terrible.
Precisely. The source mentioned reacting to a crazy plot twist in a TV show that just blows your mind. Or seeing engagement photos that are so perfect they seem unreal, you'd gasp and say, "Oh my God, I'm unwell." It's like saying the emotion is so intense it's made you comically faint or distressed. All about that playful exaggeration.
Love it. Okay, another one that shifted meaning to yap or yapping. Used to be just for dogs, right?
Yeah, traditionally it was that annoying, high-pitched bark of a little dog, but recently, wow, its informal use has just exploded. Now it means people talking, often a lot, about things that aren't very serious, maybe even slightly annoying things.
Like idle chatter.
Kind of. You might be scrolling TikTok and see a video titled, "Just Gonna Yap for a Bit," where someone's just talking casually about their day, their thoughts, whatever. Or, if your coworkers are talking really loudly about celebrity gossip nearby, you might mutter to a friend, "Ugh, can they stop yapping over there?"
So it can be a bit negative.
It can imply annoyance, yeah. It's very informal, definitely use it with people you know well, but it perfectly captures that sense of ongoing, maybe slightly trivial talk.
Okay, sticking with modern feelings, to give someone the ick. This describes such a specific, almost gut reaction.
It really does. It's incredibly precise slang. Giving someone the ick is that sudden, often inexplicable loss of attraction or feeling of disgust towards someone because of something they did or said.
And it can be something small, right?
Totally random sometimes. Maybe someone you thought was cool starts using baby talk or constantly flexing about money or chews with their mouth open and bam, you just get the ick. It's this visceral, cringy feeling that instantly turns you off.
And you can't always explain why.
Often you can't. That's the key. It's not always a logical judgment. It's just this immediate, powerful feeling of nope. Very personal, very subjective.
Fascinating. Okay, how about acknowledging the original, the best, the legendary? The OG.
The OG stands for original gangster, obviously, but its everyday use now is much broader and usually complimentary. It means the original, the authentic, the first, or sometimes even the greatest of all time, the GOAT.
So you could say.
Like Michael Jordan, he's the OG GOAT of basketball. Or talking about music, that band is the OG of punk rock. Or even for products, Nike is the OG when it comes to cool sneakers.
So it's a sign of respect.
Yeah, definitely. It's informal, often affectionate, but it signals respect for something or someone being foundational, authentic, or just the undisputed best in their field.
Cool. Now this next one plays with grammar in a really fun way. It's giving vibe adjective.
Oh, this is peak modern slang. Super versatile, very common, especially online and among younger speakers. It basically means something is emitting a certain vibe, impression, or aesthetic.
And grammar is flexible.
Totally flexible. That's the fun part. You stick adjectives, nouns, even people's names after giving where they wouldn't normally fit grammatically. Like someone walks in wearing a super classy outfit, you might say, "Wow, it's giving very chic."
Or if something seems poorly done.
Yeah. Like, this presentation slide, it's giving rushed homework. Or it can be a huge compliment. Her singing was incredible. It was giving Beyonce. It's all about capturing that overall feeling, that immediate impression something creates.
Very expressive. Okay, switching to mental states. Lives rent-free in my head. What's going on there?
This is for those thoughts you just can't shake. When something lives rent-free in your head, it means it's constantly occupying your thoughts, often when you don't want it to. Could be something annoying, embarrassing, or just incredibly catchy.
Like an earworm song.
Perfect example. Or that awkward thing you said 5 years ago that still makes you cringe. The idea is it's taken up residence in your brain, like an unwanted tenant, and it's not paying any rent. It's just there, persistently nagging you.
We've all got those tenants. Okay, a nonverbal cue turned verbal. Side eye.
Yeah, this is great. The side eye is that sideways glance you give someone when you think what they're doing or saying is weird, questionable, rude, or just generally worthy of judgment.
But now people say side eye.
Exactly. Instead of just doing it, you can say, okay, I'm giving her the side eye right now because that comment was just so unnecessary. Or even major side eye to that decision. It verbally signals that quiet disapproval or judgment.
Like a spoken emoji, almost.
Ew.
Okay, moving quickly towards something. To make a beeline.
Make a beeline. Imagine how a bee flies straight and direct to the flower, right? Right? That's the feeling. When you make a beeline for something, you move directly and quickly towards it, usually with strong motivation or purpose. You're not meandering. Like after a long hike, you might make a beeline for the water fountain. Or think about Black Friday salespeople, make a beeline for the discounted TVs. There's a clear target and determined movement towards it.
Got it. Straight and fast. Now, escaping consequences. To get off scot-free.
Right, get off scot-free. This means doing something wrong, maybe unethical, maybe illegal, and facing absolutely zero negative consequences. No punishment, no penalty.
Does it imply unfairness?
Often, yes. It's frequently used when people feel that someone, perhaps someone wealthy or powerful, has avoided accountability for something serious. But it can also be used more lightly, like, I totally forgot to do my chores, but my parents didn't notice, so I got off scot-free this week.
So getting away with something.
Exactly. Escaping the consequences, whether deserved or not. It really begs the question, how often do we see that happen, you know?
Good question. Okay, finally meeting someone you've only known virtually. To put a name to the face.
Yeah, this is such a common and useful phrase in our digital world. You use it when you finally meet someone in person after you've only interacted with them online, over the phone, via email, or maybe you've just heard a lot about them from a mutual friend.
Like, nice to finally put a name to the face.
Exactly that. You know their name, maybe their voice, maybe their emails or stories about them, but now you're seeing their actual face. It connects the different pieces of information you had about them. Very common when meeting colleagues you've only emailed, for instance.
Makes sense. What about finding something funny or enjoyable to get a kick out of it?
Yeah, get a kick out of something. This means you find it amusing, entertaining, or enjoyable, often in a lighthearted way. It usually implies something makes you smile or laugh.
So not for serious appreciation.
Generally not. Like, you probably wouldn't say you get a kick out of someone giving you a thoughtful, expensive gift. That needs a stronger word like appreciate or love. But you might get a kick out of watching your cat chase a laser pointer or seeing a really funny TikTok dance. It's for things that provide amusement.
Okay, amusement factor.
Yeah.
And when information doesn't stick, it went in one ear and out the other.
Oh, classic. This means you heard something, but it was immediately forgotten or not retained at all, usually because you weren't really listening or paying attention.
Can you use it about yourself?
Absolutely. Sorry, what did you say? I was distracted. It just went in one ear and out the other. Or you can use it about someone else. I told him 3 times, but it clearly went in one ear and out the other. It implies zero retention of the information.
We've all been guilty of that. How about feeling just slightly annoyed? Miffed.
Miffed. It's a great little word. It means you're slightly annoyed, irritated, or perhaps a bit put out, but not like furious or deeply upset. It's low-level annoyance.
So minor irritations.
Exactly. Maybe your neighbors were playing music a little too loud last night and you woke up feeling a bit miffed. Or perhaps you weren't invited to a casual get-together your friends had. You might feel miffed about being left out. It's informal and conveys that mild level of displeasure.
Good nuance. Something that surprises you and changes your view. Eye-opening.
Eye-opening. This describes an experience or piece of information that is surprising and significantly changes your perspective or understanding of something. It makes you see things in a new way.
Can it be positive or negative?
Both, definitely. Learning about, say, the shocking statistics of food insecurity in your own city could be a really negative but important eye-opening experience. Or, conversely, discovering a new author whose work completely changes how you think about literature could be a positive, eye-opening moment. It's about that shift in awareness.
That moment of realization. Okay, simple but useful. All set.
All set, very common, means ready, prepared, or sometimes complete or finished. It's often interchangeable with ready.
Like ready to go?
Yeah. Are you all set to leave? Or if you're preparing for bad weather, we've got water and batteries, I think we're all set. At a restaurant, when the waiter asks if you need anything else, you might say, nope, we're all set, thanks. Meaning you're finished or don't need anything more right now.
Versatile. What about past relationships? To have a history with someone.
Ooh, have a history. This usually implies more than just knowing someone for a long time. It suggests there's a problematic past, maybe some unresolved issues, conflict, or baggage between two people.
So not just shared memories, but negative ones.
Often, yeah. Even if they're civil now, saying, oh, they have a history, hints that there were difficulties or drama in the past that could potentially resurface. It adds a layer of caution or complexity to their current relationship.
Good to know. Provoking someone intentionally. To bait someone.
Exactly. Baiting. Just like putting bait on a hook to catch a fish. When you bait someone, you're deliberately trying to provoke them, to get them angry, annoyed, or maybe to say something they'll regret.
How does it usually happen?
Maybe someone knows you have strong political views, so they intentionally bring up a controversial topic just to get a rise out of you. They're baiting you into an argument. It's often seen as a manipulative or childish tactic.
Trying to start trouble. And ignoring someone or plans to blow someone off or blow something off.
Yeah, blowing someone off is ignoring them, maybe not texting back, flaking on plans without a good reason, basically treating them disrespectfully. He totally blew me off when I asked him about the project.
And blowing something up.
That means neglecting a responsibility or task, like, I really should do the dishes, but I think I'm just going to blow them off tonight and watch a movie. It implies shirking responsibility or ignoring something you should be doing. It always has a negative, dismissive feel.
Lack of consideration, basically. Recovering from something difficult. To get over something.
Get over something. This means to recover emotionally or physically from a negative experience, illness, or loss. To move on and stop being negatively affected by it.
Like a breakup.
Very common for breakups, yeah. It took her a long time to get over the relationship, but also for illnesses. He's finally getting over that bad cold, disappointments, the team needs to get over that tough loss, or even overcoming fear or sadness. It implies a process of healing and moving forward.
Okay. Being completely carefree. Not a care in the world.
Not a care in the world. This paints a picture of someone who is completely relaxed, happy, unburdened, and untroubled by problems or worries.
Usually positive.
Usually, yeah. Think of little kids playing happily on a summer day. They seem to have not a care in the world. But context matters. You could use it negatively to imply someone is foolishly ignorant or naive about serious issues happening around them. Tone is key here.
Right, context and tone again. The funny part of a joke. Punchline. But it has another meaning.
It does. Literally, yes, the punchline is the climax of a joke, the part that's supposed to make you laugh. But figuratively, a person or a group or even a country can be the punchline.
Meaning they're ridiculed.
Exactly. If people are constantly making jokes about a certain company's failures, that company has become the punchline. It means they're the object of ridicule or mockery, so it can be positive, a funny joke, or negative, being laughed at.
Checking for understanding. Are you with me?
Yeah, this isn't about physical location. It means, do you understand what I'm saying, or are you following my explanation?
Who uses this?
Teachers, professors giving lectures, maybe someone explaining a complex process. Okay, we adjust this setting here, then calibrate this. Are you with me so far? It's a way to check comprehension. Or someone might respond, yep, I'm with you, keep going, to confirm they understand.
Good check-in phrase. Avoiding something you don't want to do. To get out of doing something.
Get out of doing something. This means successfully avoiding a responsibility, an obligation, or maybe an invitation you didn't want to accept, often by making an excuse.
Like finding a loophole.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
The source mentioned the movie Four Christmases, where the couple tries to get out of family holiday gatherings by pretending they have to work. It's about maneuvering to avoid something undesirable.
We've all tried that. Okay, lack of control versus control. I can't help it if I can help it.
This is a neat pair. I can't help it means I can't control this action or feeling. It's often used for involuntary things like, sorry, I keep coughing, I can't help it. Or maybe for a strong emotion. I know I shouldn't worry, but I can't help it.
And the other one?
If I can help it expresses determination to prevent something from happening if you have any control over the situation. He wants to visit next weekend, but he won't be staying here if I can help it. It shows a strong desire to control the outcome.
Okay, definite contrast there. Expressing huge admiration. To bow down to someone. Is this literal?
Almost never literal. It's a humorous, casual, often exaggerated way to express immense admiration for someone's incredible skill, talent, or achievement.
Like for amazing cooking.
Perfect example. Your friend makes the most incredible meal. You might say, oh my God, this is amazing. I bow down to your cooking skills. Or maybe someone has an incredible fashion sense. Seriously, I bow down to your style. It's playful high praise.
Nice. Initiating contact to reach out.
Reach out. Very common now, means to communicate with someone, to initiate contact, often for help, support, or just to connect.
How is it used?
Broadly, you might tell someone going through a tough time, please reach out if you need anything. Or planning socially, hey, reach out to me next week if you're free to hang out. It usually implies sending a text, email, or making a call to start the conversation.
Good, versatile term. Extreme emphasis.
Yeah.
Beyond belief.
Yeah, beyond belief is used for emphasis to describe something that is incredibly good, beautiful, impressive, or, on the flip side, incredibly bad, rude, or disappointing. It intensifies the adjective.
So impressed beyond belief.
Exactly. Or beautiful beyond belief, but also rude beyond belief or disappointed beyond belief. It just flags something as being at an extreme level, whether positive or negative.
Powerful intensifier. Persuading someone not to do something. To talk someone out of something.
Right. When you try to talk someone out of doing something, you're trying to convince or persuade them not to do it, usually by giving reasons why it's a bad idea or risky.
Like quitting a job.
Classic example. His friend tried to talk him out of quitting his job without having another one lined up. It's about dissuasion, presenting the counter arguments.
Got it. Someone highly motivated, a go-getter.
A go-getter. This is a very positive term for someone who is highly motivated, ambitious, proactive, and actively pursues their goals. They don't wait around, they make things happen.
Good quality for a job interview.
Definitely. Saying you're a go-getter signals drive and initiative. The source even mentioned that learning a new language makes you a go-getter. You're actively pursuing self-improvement. It's all about that proactive energy.
I like that. Being determined. To set your mind to something.
When you set your mind to something, it means you become very serious, focused, and determined to achieve a specific goal. It implies strong willpower and readiness to make sacrifices if needed.
Like, nothing will stop you.
That's the feeling. She can achieve anything she sets her mind to. It can also mean being very firm in an opinion or decision, like being difficult to persuade otherwise. He set his mind on moving, and nothing we say will change it.
Strong determination.
Yeah.
Innate talent.
Yeah.
Natural born skill.
Natural born. This is a compliment suggesting someone is inherently talented or gifted at something, almost as if they were born with the skill. It seems effortless for them.
Examples.
He's a natural born leader. She's a natural born artist. What a fantastic storyteller, just a natural born talent. It implies the skill comes very easily and naturally to them.
High praise indeed. Just missing a goal. To fall short of a goal.
Yeah, fall short. This is a slightly softer, more gentle way to say you didn't quite achieve a goal or meet a target. You were close, but you just missed it.
Softer than failed.
Definitely softer than failed, or even missed the goal. You might use it for personal goals, like, I fell short of my marathon time goal by just 2 minutes. Or for professional targets, the team fell short of the quarterly sales goal. It acknowledges the near miss without sounding overly harsh.
Okay. Being troubled by the past.
Wow.
Haunted by something.
Haunted by something. This implies being disturbed, preoccupied, or persistently troubled by negative thoughts, regrets, or traumatic memories from the past. It's like a ghost that won't leave you alone.
Like a bad decision.
Exactly. Someone might be haunted by the decision they made years ago, or maybe they witnessed an accident and are haunted by the memory. It suggests a persistent, nagging, negative feeling or image related to a past event.
Very evocative, making the necessary effort. To put the work in, put the effort in.
Yeah, these are straightforward but very common. Putting the work in or putting the effort in simply means working hard, exerting the necessary time and energy to achieve something.
Essential for goals.
Absolutely. You can accomplish almost anything if you're willing to put the work in. It's often used to contrast with wishing or wanting. It also applies to smaller things. I didn't feel like putting the effort in to get dressed up for the party. It's about exertion.
Makes sense. When something sounds easy but isn't, easier said than done.
Oh, this one is so relatable. Easier said than done is used for tasks, goals, or advice that sounds simple in theory but are actually quite difficult to achieve or implement in practice.
Like quitting social media.
Perfect example. Or just relax before a big exam, or stay calm during an argument. All sound easy, but actually doing them, much harder. It acknowledges the practical difficulty behind a simple instruction.
Very true. The power of determination. Where there's a will, there's a way.
This is a classic proverb. It means if you have a strong enough desire, determination, or willpower, the will, you will find a method or solution, the way, to achieve your goal, even if it seems difficult or impossible.
Very optimistic and ambitious.
It is. It emphasizes the power of determination to overcome obstacles. It suggests that resourcefulness and persistence can find solutions where none seem obvious.
Inspiring. Informal emphasis. A heck of a noun.
This is an informal way to add emphasis, meaning something is very impressive, difficult, significant, or just generally noteworthy.
Like a heck of a job.
Yeah, meaning a very good job or maybe a very difficult job. That was a heck of a workout. Very difficult. Those are a heck of a pair of shoes. Very impressive. It's pretty versatile and used across generations, adds a bit of informal punch.
Okay. Someone resilient. A trooper.
A trooper. This is a nice, somewhat old-fashioned, but still common slang term for someone who endures a difficult, challenging, or unpleasant situation with resilience, patience, and without complaining much.
Like kids on a long car ride.
Exactly. Or the source mentioned a child sitting patiently in a double stroller while their parent goes for a long run. She was such a trooper. It praises their endurance and good attitude in a tough spot.
Sweet compliment. Finding the drive to do something.
Yeah.
Find the motivation.
Yeah, finding the motivation. This usually relates to tasks we know we should do or that are good for us, but we struggle to actually start or continue them. Things like cleaning the house, exercising, eating healthy.
Overcoming procrastination.
Pretty much, yeah. It implies needing to overcome inertia or laziness to get started on something beneficial. I know I need to study, but I just can't find the motivation today.
Relatable again. Putting time or effort into something. To invest in something. Beyond money.
Yes, absolutely. While literally you invest money, figuratively, Americans especially often talk about investing time or effort into something. It treats time and effort like valuable resources you allocate strategically.
Example.
The source mentioned investing in warmer exercise clothes to make winter running more bearable. You're putting resources, money in that case, towards enabling an activity. Or you might invest time in learning a new skill or invest effort in a relationship.
Treating time like money, okay? Top quality, top of the line.
Top of the line. This refers to the best quality, most advanced, or most expensive version of a product available. The highest tier.
Like for electronics or cars.
Definitely. But also shoes, furniture, winter gear, appliances. If you buy the top of the line model, you're getting the one with all the features, the best materials, a premium version.
Got it. Getting dressed warmly. To get bundled up.
Get bundled up. This means putting on many layers of warm clothing, hats, scarf, gloves, thick coat to protect yourself from cold weather.
Like preparing for snow.
Exactly. Okay, kids, get bundled up. It's freezing outside. You can also use it for babies wrapped snugly in blankets. It evokes that image of being heavily layered for warmth.
Cozy image. Feeling very excited. Pumped.
Pumped just means very excited, enthusiastic, and full of energy about something that's going to happen. It's common slang.
Like for a concert or good news.
Totally. I'm so pumped for the concert tonight. Or she was really pumped about getting the job offer. It conveys high energy and anticipation.
Simple and effective. Expressing extreme excitement. I couldn't be more excited.
Yeah. This structure is a great natural way to express the absolute peak of an emotion. I couldn't be more excited. Means you are at the maximum possible level of excitement.
So it's emphatic.
Very emphatic, but sounds completely natural. We're going on vacation. Oh my gosh, I couldn't be happier. It strongly conveys that intense positive feeling.
Good one to use. Disappointment. A bummer. A letdown.
These are more idiomatic, casual ways to express disappointment. A bummer is something unfortunate or disappointing. Oh, the party was canceled. That's a bummer.
And a letdown.
Similar, maybe slightly stronger. Something that failed to meet expectations and caused disappointment. The movie was okay, but kind of a letdown after all the hype. You can also say I'm bummed as an adjective. They're less formal than saying I'm disappointed.
Okay, casual disappointment. Something happening quickly, in no time.
In no time. This means very quickly or surprisingly faster than you might have expected. It doesn't literally mean zero time has passed.
Like faster than anticipated.
Exactly. Don't worry. Dinner will be ready in no time. Or looking back, wow, the kids grew up in no time. Or maybe you expected a long wait at our restaurant, but we got a table in no time. It emphasizes the speed.
Useful phrase. Praising a perfect performance. You nailed it.
You nailed it. This is slang, but very common, meaning you did that perfectly, you did an excellent job.
For presentations or fixing something.
Both. Great presentation, you totally nailed it. Or if someone successfully fixes your computer, wow, thanks, you nailed it. It's a strong, informal compliment for successful execution.
Okay. Having limited money on a tight budget.
On a tight budget. This is a polite, somewhat softened way to say that you don't have a lot of money to spend right now. You have to be careful with your spending.
More polite than saying I'm poor.
Much more polite and common in everyday conversation. We're thinking about buying a car, but we're on a pretty tight budget. It explains financial constraints without oversharing or sounding overly negative.
Good social nuance. Very expensive. To cost a fortune.
Costs a fortune. This means something is very, very expensive. It often involves exaggeration for effect.
Like for housing or maybe just groceries now.
Haha, yeah. Sadly, groceries might feel like they cost a fortune these days. Or buying a house in a major city definitely costs a fortune. It emphasizes the extremely high price.
Got it. High anticipation. I can't wait.
I can't wait. This is a common, slightly dramatic, but usually genuine way to express strong excitement and anticipation for something you're really looking forward to.
Like a vacation or seeing someone.
Exactly. I can't wait for summer vacation, or I can't wait to see you. You can even shorten it to just can't wait in texts or casual speech. It conveys that eagerness.
Enthusiastic agreement. I'm all for it.
I'm all for it. This means you are in complete agreement with an idea, plan, or suggestion. You fully support it.
Stronger than just, I agree.
Yeah, it shows more enthusiasm and complete buy-in. You want to order pizza tonight, I'm all for it. Or they're proposing a new park, I'm all for that. Full endorsement.
Certainty of truth. There's no doubt about it.
There's no doubt about it. Use this when you strongly agree with a statement or opinion, or you're absolutely certain something is true. It's a very natural, strong way to express agreement or certainty.
More natural than just that's true.
Often, yeah. It adds more conviction. This is the best coffee in town. Oh, there's no doubt about it. It leaves no room for questioning.
Okay. Politely declining or saying you're busy, now is not the best time.
This is a wonderfully soft and indirect way to say no, or I'm busy right now. It's much less harsh than a direct refusal.
So it implies maybe later.
Often, yeah. If someone asks for help when you're swamped, saying, now is not the best time, implies you might be able to help later, assuming it's not an emergency. It cushions the rejection.
Very useful socially. Pausing something temporarily. To put something on hold. Put something on hold. This means to pause an activity, a conversation, or a project temporarily, with the intention of returning to it later.
Like on the phone.
Classic example. Can I put you on hold for just a moment? But also for projects. We had to put the expansion plans on hold due to budget cuts. It signals a temporary stop, not cancellation.
Confirming you'll do something immediately. I'm on it.
I'm on it. Short, casual, and effective. It means I'm taking care of that right now, or I will do that immediately. Like a quick confirmation.
Exactly. Hey, can you check if the oven is off? Oh yeah, I'm on it. It confirms you've heard the request and are acting on it promptly.
Making something lower priority. To put it on the back burner.
Put it on the back burner. This means to delay working on something or make it a lower priority for the time being, usually because other things are more urgent or important. You intend to come back to it eventually, but not right now.
Like a less important project.
Yeah. We have a great idea for a new marketing campaign, but we have to put it on the back burner until after the product launch. It's deprioritized, but not forgotten.
Managing many things simultaneously. To juggle a lot of things at once.
Juggling a lot. This is a figurative expression, obviously, like a circus juggler keeping multiple balls in the air. It means you're managing many different tasks, responsibilities, or commitments at the same time.
Like work, family, study.
Exactly. She's juggling a full-time job, 2 kids, and evening classes right now. It emphasizes being very busy and managing multiple demanding roles simultaneously.
Advising against hasty decisions. Don't jump the gun.
Don't jump the gun. This idiom advises someone not to act or make a decision too quickly, prematurely, or before it's necessary or wise. It comes from the idea of starting a race before the starting gun fires.
So be patient.
Essentially, yes. Wait for the right moment, gather all the information, don't rush into things. Let's not jump the gun and book the venue before we finalize the guest list. It counsels patience to avoid mistakes.
Good advice. Expressing strong certainty. I'm 100% certain. I'm willing to bet on it. I would bet my life on it.
These are all ways to express conviction, ranging in intensity. I am 100% certain is common and clear. I'm willing to bet on it is more informal, showing strong belief.
And bet my life.
That's extreme, hyperbolic. I would bet my life on it, or sometimes bet my kids on it. You're expressing absolute, unwavering certainty, even if it's an exaggeration. It means you have zero doubt.
Okay, escalating certainty. High probability, chances are.
Chances are. This is a very common and natural way to say it is highly likely, or it is probable.
Like predicting the weather.
Yeah. It looks cloudy. Chances are it will rain later. Or he didn't study much, so chances are he didn't pass the test. It indicates a strong likelihood based on current evidence.
Strong belief. I'm convinced that.
I'm convinced that. Use this to express a strong, deeply held belief or opinion, often something personal or based on your own observations or deductions, even if you can't absolutely prove it.
Example.
After watching them film everything, I'm convinced that they never actually watched those videos later. Or, I'm convinced that taking a short walk every day improves my mood. It signals a firm personal belief.
A good opportunity. A good chance.
Yeah, a good chance can simply mean a good opportunity. It's perhaps a bit more informal or casual than saying opportunity.
Like a chance to meet someone.
Exactly. The conference is a good chance to network with people in the industry. Or this internship is a good chance to get some real-world experience. It highlights the potential benefit.
Strong relationship.
Yeah.
Very close. They're close.
When you describe two people as very close or just close, it means they have a strong, intimate relationship. They get along well, trust each other, share things, know each other deeply.
For friends or family.
Both. You could say siblings are very close, or two friends who have known each other forever are really close. It signifies a strong emotional bond.
Losing connection over time.
To have lost touch.
Lost touch. This means that two people who used to be close or communicate regularly no longer do so. Their relationship has faded, often due simply to time, distance, or changing lives.
Like old school friends.
Very common scenario. I've lost touch with most of my friends from high school. It implies a gradual drifting apart, not necessarily a specific conflict.
Okay. Extreme tiredness. Completely wiped out.
Wiped out. A very common idiom meaning extremely tired, exhausted, drained of all energy.
After physical activity or a long day.
Both. I ran a marathon yesterday. I'm completely wiped out today. Or after that week of intense meetings, I was just wiped out by Friday.
It conveys total exhaustion.
Expressing emotional difficulty. I'm struggling.
I'm struggling. While it can mean struggling with a task, it's also a very common, though less direct, way to express that you're having a hard time emotionally. Experiencing sadness, stress, or difficulty coping.
Softer than saying, I'm depressed.
Often, yes. It's a way to signal significant emotional distress without necessarily using clinical terms. How are you doing? Honestly, I'm struggling a bit right now. It invites empathy and understanding.
Okay, moving into another fascinating category. Some phrases are more than just, ways to say something. They feel like distilled wisdom, little nuggets of advice passed down, maybe for generations. These are the idioms that often carry real-life lessons.
Absolutely. This group of phrases often taps into universal human experiences, strategic thinking, or just plain common sense. They offer guidance wrapped up in memorable imagery, helping us navigate everything from finances to relationships to managing expectations. They're like mini parables.
Mini parables, I like that. Let's start with a truly classic piece of advice, especially about risk. Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
The cornerstone of diversification. It literally advises you not to risk everything you have by relying entirely on a single option, plan, or investment.
Because if you drop the basket,
Exactly. You lose everything. Its
Yeah.
origins are that simple and visual. It's fundamental in finance. Don't put all your money in one stock. But it applies much more broadly.
like in career choices,
Definitely. Don't bet your entire future on one specific job opportunity working out. Have backup plans. Don't rely solely on one client for your business. It's about spreading risk, building resilience, making sure a single failure doesn't wipe you out.
sound advice. Now, shifting responsibility or the turn to act, the ball is in your court.
This comes straight from racket sports like
Yeah.
tennis or volleyball. When the ball is in your court, it's your turn to hit it back, right? Your responsibility to make the next move.
So it means it's someone else's turn.
Precisely. You've done your part, made your proposal, sent the email, whatever. Now it's up to the other person to respond, decide, or take action. I sent them the contract last week, so the ball is in their court now. It clearly signals where the responsibility for the next step lies.
Useful in negotiations, I bet?
Very common in business and negotiations, yeah.
Okay, finding the good in the bad. A blessing in disguise.
This describes something that seems negative or unfortunate at first glance, but later turns out to have unexpectedly good consequences. It's about hidden benefits emerging from apparent setbacks.
Like losing a job.
That's a classic example. Maybe losing a job you didn't even like pushes you to find your dream career. Or maybe missing out on one opportunity saves you from a much worse situation down the line that you couldn't have foreseen. It encourages looking for the positive outcomes that only become clear later on. Optimism through hindsight, almost.
A hopeful perspective. Facing something unpleasant with courage. To bite the bullet.
Yeah, this idiom is all about resilience and facing necessary hardship. It means enduring a painful or unpleasant situation bravely, usually because you have to or because it will lead to a better outcome.
And the origin is grim.
Very grim. It supposedly comes from surgery before anesthesia, where soldiers would literally bite a lead bullet to cope with the pain.
Wow.
So today, we use it for less dramatic but still unpleasant things we just have to get through. Going to the dentist, having that difficult conversation, finishing a really tedious but necessary task. It's about steeling yourself and doing what needs to be done, despite the discomfort.
Facing it head on. Okay, is starting conversations in awkward situations. To break the ice.
Breaking the ice means initiating conversation or interaction, especially in a new social or professional setting where people might feel awkward or don't know each other. It's about making the atmosphere more relaxed and friendly.
How do people do that?
Simple things. Telling a joke, asking a general question, how's everyone finding the conference? Giving a compliment. Those structured icebreaker activities at meetings or workshops, they exist solely to break the ice and get people talking.
Making things less awkward. Finding the positive in any bad situation. Every cloud has a silver lining.
This is a very optimistic idiom. It means that even in a difficult, negative, or sad situation, the cloud, there is always some positive aspect or reason for hope. The silver lining.
Always something good.
That's the idea. Sometimes you have to look hard for it. Often people shorten it to just there's always a silver lining. Maybe being stuck at home sick, the cloud, means you finally have time to read that book you've wanted to finish. The silver lining. It encourages finding the upside.
A positive outlook. Actions versus words. Actions speak louder than words.
A fundamental truth about human behavior. This means what people actually do is a much better indicator of their character, intentions, or feelings than what they simply say. Promises are easy. Follow through is what matters.
Like if someone says they're your friend but never else.
Exactly. Their actions, or lack thereof, speak louder than their words of friendship. It emphasizes judging people based on their behavior, not just their claims.
Very true. Getting something exactly right. To hit the nail on the head.
This is a strong compliment. It means you have described or identified something absolutely, perfectly, precisely, or correctly. You've pinpointed the exact issue or truth.
Like solving a problem accurately.
Yes, or offering a really insightful analysis. If someone explains exactly why a project failed, you might say, yes, you totally hit the nail on the head. It praises their accuracy and insight.
A great compliment to receive. Seeing only a small part of a bigger problem. The tip of the iceberg.
This metaphor, famously linked to the Titanic, means that what you are currently aware of is only a small, visible fraction of a much larger, more complex, and often hidden problem or situation.
Implying there's much more underneath.
Exactly. And usually what's underneath is the more significant or dangerous part. Discussing one instance of corruption might just be the tip of the iceberg if it points to widespread systemic issues. It warns that the problem is bigger than it appears.
A cautionary phrase. Achieving two things with one action. To kill two birds with one stone.
This means accomplishing two separate goals or solving two different problems with a single effort or action. It's about efficiency.
Like walking to the store.
That's the classic example. You need groceries and you want some exercise. Walking to the store kills two birds with one stone. You shop and you exercise simultaneously. It's about finding that efficient overlap.
Smart multitasking. Not getting hopes up too soon. Don't count your chickens before they hatch.
Another piece of timeless wisdom. It means don't rely on something positive happening or assume success or make plans based on a future outcome before it's absolutely certain and finalized.
Like spending money before you get paid.
Exactly. Or planning the wedding details before you're even engaged. It advises against premature celebration or assumption because things might not turn out the way you expect. Wait until the chickens have actually hatched.
Manage expectations. Something very easy. A piece of cake.
Super common idiom. If something is a piece of cake, it's incredibly easy to do. Effortless.
Like an easy test?
Yeah, that exam was a piece of cake. Or maybe fixing a simple problem. Don't worry, setting up the printer is a piece of cake. Often used almost humorously for something surprisingly simple.
Okay. Working late. Burning the midnight oil.
This phrase means working or studying late into the night. The midnight oil refers to the oil used in lamps before electricity.
Implies hard work or dedication.
Usually, yeah. Often implies working hard to meet a deadline or finish a big project. We were burning the midnight oil all week to get the report finished on time. It suggests long, late hours of effort.
Great things take time. Rome wasn't built in a day.
A reminder for patience. It means that important, complex, or significant achievements require a lot of time and effort. They don't happen quickly.
Comforting for learners.
Very much so, especially for language learners who get frustrated with slow progress. Learning English takes time. Rome wasn't built in a day. It encourages persistence and acknowledges that valuable things require patience.
Revealing a secret. To let the cat out of the bag. To spill the beans.
These two mean basically the same thing. To reveal a secret, often accidentally, or to disclose surprise information prematurely.
Like ruining a surprise party.
Exactly. Someone might accidentally let the cat out of the bag about the surprise party. Or if someone is trying to keep their pregnancy quiet for a while, a friend might accidentally spill the beans before they're ready to announce it. Don't spill the beans is a common warning to keep quiet.
Okay, keeping secrets safe. Can't have two conflicting good things. You can't have your cake and eat it too.
This means you cannot simultaneously enjoy two desirable but mutually exclusive options or benefits. You have to choose.
Like saving money and spending it.
Perfect example. You can't aggressively save money and constantly buy expensive things. Or you can't expect to travel the world constantly and hold down a demanding, high-paying job that requires you to be in the office. It highlights that choices often involve trade-offs.
Life's trade-offs. Better late arrival than no arrival. Better late than never.
This means it's preferable for someone to arrive or for something to happen, even if it's significantly delayed, than for it never to happen at all.
It can be supportive or slightly critical.
Exactly. If a friend finally shows up to your party an hour late, you might say warmly, "Hey, better late than never, glad you made it." Or, if your roommate finally learns to cook at age 30, you might say it with a slightly teasing, snarky tone. Context is key.
When bad things happen all at once. When it rains, it pours.
This idiom describes the phenomenon where, when one bad thing happens, it feels like a whole series of other misfortunes or problems occur simultaneously or in quick succession.
Like a streak of bad luck.
Yeah. You lose your job, then your car breaks down, then you get sick, all in the same month. You'd sigh and say, wow, when it rains, it pours. It captures that feeling of being overwhelmed by multiple concurrent problems.
Finally, consequences match actions. You reap what you sow.
A profound statement about cause and effect, using a farming metaphor. Sowing is planting seeds. Reaping is harvesting the crop. It means the results you get in life, reap, are a direct consequence of the actions you take or the effort you put in. So
hard work leads to success.
That's the positive side. Good actions yield good results. But it also implies negative actions lead to negative consequences. It emphasizes personal responsibility and the direct link between our choices and our outcomes. Hard work and ethical behavior are important for positive results.
Okay, for our final section, Let's tackle some real linguistic puzzles. These are phrases where the literal meaning is just the starting point. The real meaning can shift dramatically, sometimes even flipping completely, depending on the context, the tone of voice, the situation. This is where you really have to listen between the lines.
This is absolutely fascinating territory. It really showcases the richness and, let's be honest, the occasional trickiness of English. Tone, situation, implied emotion, they can utterly transform what a phrase means. It really demands active, nuanced listening.
Let's start with the big one. I don't believe you.
Yeah.
Literally, it's simple disbelief. But the source shows it can be, astonishingly, a way to show deep appreciation.
It's such a powerful example of this. Literally, yes, it's disbelief. Someone says they saw a unicorn. I don't believe you. Simple.
Right.
But change the tone, add some awe, maybe wide eyes. Someone does something incredibly kind, goes way above and beyond for you. You might gasp, oh my gosh, I don't believe you. Thank you so much. That's so incredibly helpful. Here, it means, I can't believe how unbelievably nice, generous, thoughtful you are.
Wow, complete opposite.
Completely. And then flip it again. Use an angry or frustrated tone. Someone forgets something crucial you asked them to do. I don't believe you. I reminded you 3 times. That was so important. Now it means, I cannot believe your carelessness, rudeness, forgetfulness.
So it covers the whole spectrum based on tone.
Exactly. Disbelief, amazement, gratitude, frustration, disappointment. All packed into those 3 words. You have to read the emotion and context.
That's incredible. Similarly, unreal can swing wildly from positive to negative.
Another perfect example of this duality. Positively unreal means something is so amazing, so cool, so beautiful, it seems almost unbelievable in its excellence. Standing on a mountaintop, wow, this view is unreal, means it's breathtaking.
The highest praise.
Right. But just like, I don't believe you, use it with a frustrated or shocked tone after someone does something unacceptable. If your friend promises to bring snacks to the party and shows up empty-handed, you might say, unreal, you forgot the snacks. Now it expresses disbelief and disappointment at their failure. Same word, totally different emotional payload depending on context.
Definitely one to listen carefully for. Okay, signaling a shift in conversation. All jokes aside, money aside, feelings aside.
This is a really useful structure for managing conversations and clarifying focus. All jokes aside is probably the most common. You use it to signal you're moving from a lighthearted or humorous part of the conversation to a serious point. Okay. All jokes aside for a second, we really need to figure this out.
Sets the stage for seriousness.
Exactly. Money aside lets you discuss a hypothetical situation without financial constraints. Money aside, what's your dream car? And feelings aside indicates a deliberate choice to prioritize logic or practicality over emotions, often in a tough decision. Look, feelings aside, the numbers just don't work for this plan. It's a way to set conditions or change the tone explicitly.
Very clear conversational tool. Now, this comparison is subtle but crucial. To go as planned went smoothly versus as well as can be expected. They sound similar, but imply very different things.
Worlds apart, really, in their underlying message. Go as planned or went smoothly. These are straightforwardly positive. Success, no major hiccups. The event went smoothly. Great turnout. Simple. Good news.
Okay. And the other one,
As well as can be expected, almost always carries an undercurrent of difficulty or negativity. It's used when things probably didn't go well, but the outcome wasn't worse than anticipated given the challenging circumstances.
like after a bad night before an interview.
Perfect example. How was the interview? It went as well as can be expected. Implies it wasn't great, but maybe not a total disaster considering you felt awful. It's very often used in sensitive situations, like talking about someone who is seriously ill. How is she doing? She's doing as well as can be expected. It acknowledges the gravity without being overly blunt or falsely optimistic. It softens bad news.
That's a very important nuance for sensitive topics. Okay, stopping a failing effort. To cut your losses.
Cut your losses. This is a strategic decision. It means to stop investing time, money, or effort into something, a project, a business, maybe even a relationship that is clearly unsuccessful or failing in order to prevent further, greater losses.
Like quitting while you're behind.
Sort of, yeah. It's acknowledging that continuing is only going to make things worse. So the smartest move is to stop now, accept the losses incurred so far, and move on, rather than throwing more good money or time or effort after bad.
Makes sense. Bringing someone up to date, to get someone up to speed, to fill someone in.
These two are very similar and extremely common, especially at work or school. They both mean to provide someone with all the necessary information they've missed so they understand the current situation.
Like after missing a meeting.
Exactly. Can someone get me up to speed on what I missed in the meeting? Or Let me fill you in on the latest developments. They both mean bringing someone current with the necessary information.
Useful. Oversharing personal details. TMI. Too much information.
TMI. Very common abbreviation used constantly in conversation and online. It's what you say or think when someone shares details that are overly personal, maybe gross, embarrassing, or just completely unnecessary and make you uncomfortable.
Like graphic medical details.
Definitely a TMI trigger for many. Or intricate details about someone's relationship problems or bodily functions. If someone starts going into way too much detail, you might interrupt with a quick, "Oh, okay, dude, TMI." It's a clear signal to stop oversharing.
A social boundary marker. Feeling groggy or having unclear memories. To be in a haze. Hazy memories.
Right. To be in a haze means feeling mentally foggy, groggy, tired, maybe confused, not thinking clearly. Jet lag can put you in haze. Waking up from a deep sleep can leave you in a haze for a bit.
And hazy memories.
Those are memories that are unclear, vague, indistinct. You remember bits and pieces, but the details are fuzzy. Childhood memories are often described as hazy. My memories of that vacation are pretty hazy now.
Okay. Daily routines. Day to day.
Day to day. This refers to your regular, typical daily life, schedule, or routine activities. It's often used when asking about someone's job or lifestyle.
Like, what's your day to day like?
Exactly. What does your day-to-day look like in this role? It's asking about the typical tasks, responsibilities, and rhythm of their daily work or life.
Getting the undesirable leftovers. Table scraps. Literally food, but figuratively.
Right. Literally, table scraps are leftover bits of food from a meal, often given to pets. Figuratively, getting the table scraps means receiving only the undesirable leftovers, the least valuable opportunities, or the remnants after others have already taken the best parts.
Like in work assignments.
Yeah, someone might feel like they always get the boring tasks no one else wants. I feel like I just get the table scraps around here. It implies being given low value or leftover items or opportunities.
Okay. From the very beginning. From the get-go.
The get-go. A very common informal way to say from the very beginning or right from the start.
How was it used?
Often to describe the initial tone, attitude, or situation right at the start of something. From the get-go, I knew this project would be challenging. Or, positively, my boss was super supportive from the get-go. It emphasizes the starting point.
A great undiscovered place or thing. A hidden gem.
A hidden gem. This refers to something, usually a place like a restaurant, shop, park, or maybe even a book or movie that is wonderful, high quality, or charming, but isn't widely known or popular. It's like a secret treasure.
Like a quiet coffee shop.
Perfect example. A fantastic little coffee shop tucked away on a side street that most tourists miss. That's a hidden gem. Or a delicious, authentic restaurant that isn't trendy or crowded. It implies value that hasn't been widely discovered yet.
Okay, comparing opportunity versus high demand again, knocking at your door versus knocking down your door. That word change is huge.
It really is such a subtle shift, such a different meaning. Knocking at your door suggests opportunity is politely available, maybe gently presenting itself. Like we said, with that degree, opportunities are knocking at your door. It's an invitation.
Gentle.
Right. But knocking down your door, that's intense. It means people are aggressively eager, desperate, clamoring to get something you have or offer.
Like for a hot product.
Exactly. Our new cookies are so popular, customers are knocking down our door. It implies overwhelming demand, intense eagerness, almost forceful interest. It really reminds us how much nuance a single word can carry. What does this all mean? It means listening for that intensity.
From gentle invitation to insistent demand. Incredible. Okay, connecting different things. To bridge the gap.
Bridge the gap. This means to connect two different things, maybe people, ideas, cultures, skill levels to reduce the distance, separation, or misunderstanding between them.
Like what we're doing today.
Hopefully. Trying to bridge the gap between textbook English and natural, fluent conversation. Or you might talk about programs designed to bridge the gap between rich and poor communities, or efforts to bridge the gap between older and younger generations through shared activities. It's about connection and reducing divides.
Great phrase. And starting over completely. Start from the top.
Start from the top. This specifically means to begin something again, completely from the very beginning, restarting from scratch.
Like in music practice.
Oh,
Or a presentation.
very common in music. Okay. That wasn't right. Let's take it from the top. Or if a presentation goes wrong, let's just stop and start from the top. Or even replaying a video. Wait, I missed that. Can you start it from the top? It means a complete reset to the beginning. Hashtag outro, outro.
Wow. Okay, that was quite the deep dive, wasn't it? We've covered so much ground today, from understanding that subtle apology in "it slipped my mind," all the way to the kind of profound life advice in "you reap what you sow."
Yeah, and we went through that whole landscape of modern slang. It's giving "I'm unwell," the ick. Plus those really tricky ones like "unreal" or "I don't believe you," where the meaning just completely flips depending on how you say it.
It really shows how layered and, well, alive the English language is. It's not static at all.
Not in the slightest. And this deep dive, I hope, has shown that understanding these phrases, it's not just about, sounding more American or more British or whatever. That's not really the point. It's about connecting. Connecting on a deeper level, understanding the nuances, the culture packed into these words. Each phrase we talked about has its own story, its own context, and grasping that really elevates how you can express yourself and how well you understand others.
Absolutely. And so that's really our encouragement to you listening now. You've got this expanded toolkit, this new awareness. Start noticing these phrases out in the wild.
Pay attention.
In conversations, podcasts, movies, songs. Listen for the context, the tone. How do those things change the meaning? And then when you hear one and it clicks, try using it.
Yeah, don't be afraid to try them out.
Exactly. Remember, fluency isn't just memorizing lists. It's about using language confidently in the right situation. Practice, context, repetition. That's how these phrases become truly naturally yours.
Think of it less like homework and more like exploring a really cool, complex city. Each phrase is a landmark, guiding you to more interesting places in the language.
Well said. So what does this all mean for you? Here's something to think about. If language itself is constantly shifting, constantly evolving, new slang pops up, old idioms get new life, meanings subtly change, what does that tell us about communication itself? Is there really such a thing as a final master level? Or is fluency actually this ongoing, fascinating deep dive into waters that are always changing?